Other things, really great things about Google Forms. Up here, you have customized theme. You can add your own image, color, so you can change a color, image. So let's say I want school and I like that one. Insert. So it just change it, makes it a little bit more welcoming. You can change this, so maybe playful, whatever you like. There is the preview, because it's always really good to preview these, especially when you start getting several sections to it. So make sure it goes correctly. So Bob Smith is taking this survey and they get it wrong. Okay, it does go to question 1, help. They see the video, answer. Let's type in 1. Oh, this is where the extra help would pop up and what you can put in there to help. If they get it right, they go on to question 2, they get it right again, and so on. So you just make sure, in this case, it wasn't set up the way it should have been. So then they hit submit and the student is done. Or in this case, you're done. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to edit it some more. What else can we do here? So there's settings. You can collect email addresses. I only recommend this if your school has Gmail for their account for their students. If they don't, I do not recommend using collect email addresses. It becomes very, very cumbersome and frustrating for the students. And sometimes your students can't submit it or they don't have a Gmail account. It just becomes very frustrating. Next, limit to 1 response. So let's say this is a test. You only want them to submit 1 time. So limit 1 response. But you have to sign into Google to enforce that. But so no Google, here we go. Edit after they submit it. So if you want them to be able to go back, oh, I want to go back and edit this, they can. There's a link there. See summary chart and text responses, just depending on what you need. Presentation. Show progress bar. If you have a test that only has 10 questions on it, I like this. If you have different sections, let's say you have 50 different sections you've set up, don't use this because it shows, oh, you have 1 of 50 done, when in reality they might have 1 of the 5 they might do. Shuffle question order is really nice if you're doing simple tests, you know, question 1, question 2, question 3. It reorganizes it. Makes it a little bit harder to cheat because it's just a little bit disorganized compared to somebody else's test. And then show link to submit another response. So if you want them to go back and maybe it's a remediation, they can redo it multiple times. You can show link. If you don't want them to go back, have a second attempt there, you can take that off. After they hit submit, you have the opportunity to put some final instructions. So you can put additional information here, or way to go, you finished the test, something here. And this is the last thing they'll see on their Google form when they submit it. Quizzes. This is really nice. If you're setting up a quiz, you can make this a quiz. And I really like immediately after each submission, release grade, so they can see it. So you might have to go back and grade a short answer, but they can go ahead and see what they got wrong, right? And you can show them missed questions, correct answers, point values, depending on why you're setting this up or what you're setting this up for. And then you hit save. So once you have a quiz made, you need to come back to your questions. You come back to your question. So let's say I'm here, you need to click on it and you need to get your answer key set up. So I click on this question. I want it to be worth 5 points and I want to add answer feedback. If they get it wrong, there's feedback, or correct, you can give them different feedback. You can insert links and videos here. Other things, what's really nice about this quiz section is the free response part. So if you come down here, this is really, really nice. And let's say for a free response section, I'm going to add a new section here and show you this and add a question. Keep scrolling down. And this is my essay question. What's really beautiful about this, if I go to my paragraph and I go to response validation, you can do it based on length. So if you only want this so many characters, so you don't want like a 5-page submission by your students, or you want them to at least submit a paragraph about 50 words, you can do maximum character count as well and enter there. And then your custom text, you can say, hey, this is too long, try to shorten it up, or hey, this is too short, what other details can you add to support your claim? Which is the really beautiful part about that. So like I said, these 3 little dots are very powerful for what options you have here for your different short answer, paragraph, multiple choice. Other things, The send. So you can send it personally as an email if you have maybe you want to send it to a specific student or somebody, but I like this little link here. And I like to use a shortened URL. And you just copy this and send it to your students in an email. They just click on it and they see it. Also, if you're using a platform where you can embed something, you have the embed code and it pops up right there. Other things, these 3 little dots up here. Let's say you have a PLC partner and you want to collaborate. So you guys can edit it. You can do that right here. And then there's the preferences, very basic, but you can collect email addresses. It's what naturally occurs. I have it unchecked because I don't want to collect email addresses all the time. You can make questions required or not required. So what happens is you have this required button. Every time you create it, it would come up not required or preference required. The other really powerful thing about Google Forms are these add-ons. This is where you make it more personal to what you need.
With these add-ons, there's a ton that really could be useful in your class. So form limiters, so maybe you only want so many answers. Choice eliminators, so let's say you want to set up a small group session, you only want 10 people to sign up per session. So let's say Wednesday at 1 p.m., you have 10 slots, so you enter all your answers. So Wednesday 10 a.m., Wednesday 10 a.m., Wednesday 10 a.m., Wednesday 10 a.m. Well, as students say, this is the section I want, it eliminates that for options for other people. So what's really nice is you can have so many people sign up for projects, or in this case, a small group section. There's email notifications, meaning when a student submits a notification or a Google form. In this case, when they submit the Google form, it can send an email or a notification to you or the student, depending on how you set it up. Timify Me is also really cool. So just scrolling through these and seeing what really works for you. There's a ton of options here to look at.